The Pure Food Co was set up to deliver a variety of healthy and tasty meal options for people with eating difficulties. Co-founder Sam Bridgewater had a personal experience that was behind the creation of the company.
My stepfather had an illness which meant he couldn't get the nutrition he needed, and watching him going through that process and my mum trying to make food for him, we realised that there had to be a better way. The problem with the foods was they were trying to make them at home on the kitchen bench, and to be honest, it really isn't that easy. There are certain foods out there that are naturally smooth and soft, but you can't eat custard every day. I mean, we found people one particular lady ate scrambled eggs every day for a decade. We were finding people were resorting to baby food or trying to make it at home with differing results. After we'd found that there was a large need out there, we then pulled in specialists such as some really good dietitians, great food scientists, good chefs, and also textural specialists. Foodbowl has been fantastic for us. We wouldn't have access to the kit and the skills, particularly in the early days, if it wasn't for Foodbowl. And they were able to also help in terms of connections, particularly in the early days when we were getting off the ground. When we initially started, we were making literally several meals for one rest home, a couple of people down the road. We now provide meals throughout the public hospitals around New Zealand, about half the hospital population requiring these meals. We supply to aged care nationwide and to people in their own home through pharmacies and direct online. These boxes here are packaging which incorporate small pouches of food, and these are provided to people in their own home. So it means that whether you are living alone or wherever, you've also got access to the foods. The absolute X factor about the Pure Foods is not only are they roast lambs and hickory porks, which just use the local ingredients. To create those meals, we fortify them to provide really targeted and essential nutrition, allowing people to get that extra nutrition through smaller portion sizes. We use a colour coding system, orange for proteins, we have purple for carbs, and then we have green for vegetables. The idea being that if we have a portion of each on a plate, we've got a healthy, balanced meal. Our foods are provided to people who in many cases are immunocompromised, so making sure that we have the utmost level of food safety is critical for us. As well as that, there are huge amounts of efforts made to ensure that we're really getting beautiful colours coming through in the foods. We use a kettle, and there's a variety of ways of cooking within that kettle. Coming down to what obviously we're cooking, there are different techniques that we use in terms of time and the like to get that right texture that is fairly important for us, as well as making sure that we're hitting all of our critical control points within our HACCP plan. From a textural point of view, it is obviously one of our most important aspects we have to get right every time. Our customers and the people we provide the foods to rely on receiving the easiest and safest texture in which they can swallow. So we take a very regimented approach to testing every batch. We have benchmarks, and we use this machine, the Bostwick meter, which allows us to really concentrate in on the viscosity of the product, ensuring that we get the viscosity that we have developed every time. We provide foods for people who have a wide range of needs. Many of our consumers just require additional nutrition, and they get that through potatoes that we provide. Potato mashes that have flavour, but also 6 times the protein, for instance, or twice the level of energy. Some of our consumers physically can't consume regular food, and it's very important to them and to their health that they receive the right texture food. So for instance, we provide two technical textures, one a smooth puree and one a chunkier sort of mash consistency. For instance, if someone is requiring a smooth puree food and they receive food with lumps in it or with thin liquids leaching out of the foods, those can heighten the risk of both choking and also aspirating the liquid into the lungs, which can then flow through to real issues. There's some amazing things that are being done overseas in terms of plating meals that really provide dignity and that enjoyment of eating with the eyes. We've created foods that are able to be moulded and held together following heating in the moulds. So we've started working with a number of our customers where we take a safe, nutritionally enhanced carrot puree and we remould that into a little bunch of carrots sitting on a plate. That does wonders for the actual aesthetic of the meal. In terms of where to from here, absolutely export is on our radar. We often get requests from people overseas who require a product like ours or who have tried it and they're asking about whether we export to their particular country. So export's a big thing for us. We've also got some pretty interesting and should be very delicious foods and different products that are in the pipeline now, particularly now that we've been able to move on from the food bowl into our own production space, which is a pretty big jump for us as a company, but it's exciting because it gives us so much flexibility to be able to continue to provide products for our customers that they're asking for.
This program was made with funding from New Zealand On Air.